What's up everyone, David here and welcome back to another video. For today's video I have something a little bit different. This is going to be a new trend, or at least I'll try to make this a new trend for the channel, being community driven types of video. For this video, you've seen the title, I am going to be reacting to you guys' tier lists for Atlus games. And I gotta say, your replies were great. Now, I polled everyone on Twitter. If I do other videos like this in the future, I'll try to poll you guys on the community page and YouTube as well, so make sure you ring that notification bell. But this video should be really fun. We have a lot of tier lists to watch and to look at, and oh boy, you guys have some great ones, so it's gonna be super interesting. Before we get into the swing of things, if you're not aware, I am currently running a giveaway for a physical collector's edition of Soul Hackers 2, the PS5 version from Japan. It includes free worldwide shipping. All you have to do to enter is be subscribed to my YouTube channel and click the link down in the description below to enter. You just gotta write a little bit of info, takes 2 minutes, and you're in. You can also follow me on Twitter for additional entries if you are interested. Good luck. Alright, so here's the tweet in question. I asked everyone, drop your Atlus games tier lists in the reply. I have zero preparation for this video. I didn't look at the tier list in details. I quickly went over them, so I don't even know which ones I'm going to pick. But I will go over all of them quickly, and I will pick certain ones that I think are interesting, that I have something to say about them. So let's just get right into it. Alright, so we have a great first one here from Tallflip, friend of the channel, great member from the Discord server. Here's the list. Here's the games I got to complete. Yes, I consider Catherine and Full Body a different game. Nocturnes, okay, that is good. Let's look at the list real quick. So we have a lot of S tier games. We have Devil Survivor, Catherine, Nocturne, Strange Journey, the original, Persona 5 Royal, and Digital Devil Saga 2. Now on this day, I still haven't played Digital Devil Saga 2, so that's interesting. We have A tier, so we have SMT5 right here in A tier, which is great. That's one of the games that is really divisive, and I really like it. I'm mostly sharing his opinion here. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax way higher than I would generally put it. Haven't played the Raido games yet. Persona 3 FPS, way over Portable. Here, 2 ranks above, which is interesting. Digital Devil Saga, the first one in B tier, which honestly is a little low, I feel like. But again, this is a tier list and this is opinion based. I will not agree with all of the lists, and I will not disagree with all of them either. I'm just commenting. If I don't agree with any type of move and placements on your list, please don't come at me. It's your opinion and it's perfectly fine. We have Jack Bros here, the original Soul Hackers in C tier as well. Strange Journey Redux in C. Now that's the one. I noticed that a lot of people are placing Vanilla Strange Journey higher than Redux, and that's fine. I understand why most people do that. 3 ranks below is interesting because, again, I haven't played the original to completion. I did complete Redux, but not the original to completion, so I more or less have something to say here, but I still feel like this is interesting. Just overall, a great list, and of course we have SMT If, worst of the worst, never remake this one. Which is interesting because that one, and I'm sure Tallflip watched the video too, is part of my top 5 Atlus games to be remade. And here we go, we have a rank for this one on its own, so that is really interesting. Alright, we have another one here from Aliceta10. A lot of S tier actually, big Atlus fan here. We have Persona 5 Royal, Eternal Punishment. I appreciate seeing Eternal Punishment that high, this is great. 74, P4G, Apocalypse in S tier. I feel like is not standard either, great to see. Strikers here in S alongside P5 Vanilla. Interesting, haven't finished DDS. SMT Persona, the original on PSP at C tier. Very interesting stuff here. That is for sure. We have King Overkami 45's list here, friend of the channel. You guys know him if you watch my stuff. He's pretty much the co-host of the Demon Appreciation podcast. That's his list. God tier. We have P4G, Persona 5 Royal, SMT 4 and 5. I cannot argue against that. We have S tier DDS and Vanilla P5. Then we have Catherine Full Body, Persona 4 Dancing. Now, I know Persona 4 Dancing, this may be a little high for most of y'all watching this. He's a big fan of Persona 4 Dancing. He ranked it way above P3D and P5D, which has its own rank in dog shit category. Now, I'm not a big fan even of P4D. Obviously, it's the way biggest, the way better game out of the 3 dancing games with its story mode. Lots of great remixes, way better than the other ones for sure. But again, A tier. I understand Overkami, he likes his rhythm games, so that is good. I like to see Tokyo Mirage Sessions pretty high up. That is good. That makes me happy. And we have SMT Persona once again in F tier. We have both arena games in D tier, which is interesting. Now, that list is not my list. It shares a lot of things, though. I feel like both Overkami and I, we share a lot of similar opinions in terms of Atlus games, because that is a list that is, let's say it's the most similar one to mine, looking at all you guys' picks for now. Alright, we have another one here from Sable Corgi, Corgi, sorry for my pronunciation. We have S tier Catherine, P4G, and P5R. God, this community are praising Catherine, and I like to see it. This is good. This is awesome. A tier SMT4, Persona 5 Strikers, Persona 3 FES, Nocturne, 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim by Vanillaware, published by Atlus. Fantastic game. Fantastic game. Glad to see it up there. Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Soul Hackers getting a little bit of love there, which is cool. Great list overall. Great list overall. Alright, we have an interesting one here from Ikudo Thanatos. Persona 3 FES being the favorite game. Raido 2 in S tier as well, which is interesting. Digital Devil Saga, and then we have DDS2 in A tier. And I want to get back to Tallflip's list, which was interesting. We had DDS, I think, in B and DDS2 in S. So see, they're flipped, and DDS2 is in A, DDS2 ranks above in S. Cool stuff there. Both Persona Q games, I feel like, are very high compared to most people's picks. We have Odd and Sphere in C tier. 13 Sentinels in C. That's interesting. Now, that's interesting. That's a game that a lot of people are sleeping on. They're not playing that game. But to see someone who played it and put it in C, that would be interesting. Now, Tanatas, if you're watching this video, please drop a comment and just explain, what did you not like about 13 Sentinels? Because I feel like the people that I know who gave the game a shot, they really liked it. So I'd be curious to hear someone's opinion on the game who tried it but didn't really appreciate it. Persona 2 Innocent Sin being a little low as well, but it's perfectly fine. We have another one here from Beowulf here with SMT5 and SMT4 right there at the top. Soul Hackers taking the A tier as well, which is interesting. Persona 3 Portable in B tier with no FES, which is really interesting. Which is really, really interesting. Most people, they go for FES before they play Portable. Now, that's probably going to change next year with the re-release, but hey. Alright, this looks interesting. This is from Geoshmo. Once again, sorry for my pronunciation. It seems interesting because we have Megami Tensei 2 at S tier. Interesting. Now, I never played the Megami Tensei games, but I don't hear a lot of people talking about them, and I sure as hell don't hear many people praise the game. Now, clearly, Geoshmo here is a big Atlus fan because he played like the Gitten games and a lot of games on that list that a lot of people don't really play, or at least don't even give it a shot. Even myself, I didn't play a lot of those games on the list. But interesting seeing it at S tier for sure. Same thing, interesting seeing Redux over the original Strange Journey. That's something that whenever I say that, I get roasted by the fans. Okay, so that's interesting. I like to see it, to be honest. SMT2 and A tier is also interesting. That's a game that I want to play as soon as possible because I played SMT1. I really liked it. SMT If, I kind of don't want to jump in yet because I know I'm going to require a lot of patience. SMT2, though, is the gem out of the three from what I've heard. So I want to play that one for sure. Otherwise, I'm looking at that list and it's pretty solid. SMT5 seems a little low, but that's just my opinion. Persona 4 Arena maybe a little high. Again, just my opinion, not being a fighting game fan. Persona 1, honestly, is getting ranked pretty low in most of the lists that we're looking at, which is interesting. Both Persona 3 games in D tier, which is also interesting. And of course, the slander with Tokyo Mirage Sessions in E tier. Great list, very different from what we looked at yet. Credits for Persona 2 Eternal Punishment up there in S tier though. And then we have smtdrifter, friend of the channel as well, here with his own list. See, that's what I was talking about. SMT2, Shin Megami Tensei 2 in S tier. Now that looks pretty sexy. That's cool. I'm glad to see that. SMT4 right up there. Digital Devil Saga in S tier. Devil Survivor, SMT5 in B tier once again. Strange Journey A tier. Original SMT A tier. P5R in A tier, which is again lower than most people. I think that is a really interesting. Now my guy, I'm gonna say I don't like what I'm looking at down there. Persona 2 Eternal Punishment. You need to play that one. I think you're playing Innocent Sin right now, if I'm not mistaken, but keep going. Apocalypse in D tier. I feel like it's a little tough. Like, it has issues, but come on, the game's good. Gitten, that's Gitten in B tier, right? My dude. But great list overall. Definitely a list that I would have to agree with a lot of picks, like 74, Devil Survivor, Digital Devil Saga, P4G, Nocturne. Those are all in the same rank that I would put it for mine. Very interesting. Hey, we have Jellotrooper here. Both Digital Devil Saga games in S+ tier. In S tier, it's common to see P5R, P4G, and SMT4. That's interesting as well. Innocent Sin in A tier. Eternal Punishment, he or she hasn't played it yet. That's interesting. I would be curious to see where you would place Eternal Punishment if Innocent Sin is in A tier. Nocturne B, Soul Hackers. Soul Hackers is mostly in B tier too, which is great to see. I was expecting to see it lower for most of you guys' list, so that's interesting for sure. We have Void here with his own list, and immediately gotta give him credit. S tier for 13 Sentinels. You love to see it. Devil Survivor really high. Radiant Historia, thank you. Thank you. Radiant Historia is a fantastic RPG on DS. Now that is the Perfect Chronology re-release for 3DS. Don't quote me on the name. Great version of the game too. You guys should definitely check out Radiant Historia. Great game from Atlus. Devil Survivor 2 in A tier. I've yet to play that one. Persona Q2 might be a little high versus other lists, so that's interesting too. DDS 1 and 2 in B. And of course we have Persona 3 Portable over FES, which that's one rank that always is interesting to me for sure. And Soul Hackers in D tier here. Alright, so that is a list that I got a lot of notifications for that one, and that would be from YouTuber Ozzy. Now Ozzy's been on the channel, been on the podcast, and I think he was on a regular video of mine as well. Great content there from Ozzy. His list is interesting. Persona 5 Royal, Persona 5 Vanilla, and 13 Sentinels in S tier. Now I know Ozzy likes 13 Sentinels and Persona 5 Royal. You love to see a Devil Survivor, SMT5 being pretty high as well, behind P5S though. But the one thing would be that game. That game. In C tier. That's tough. That's tough. It really is. Otherwise, that list is decent. Tokyo. I felt like Ozzy, you were kind of a TMS fan. I guess I was wrong on that one. In C tier, the list is really good. The list is different from mine, but it has a lot of placements that I would have to agree with. But the SMT4 and 4 Apocalypse in C tier is very interesting. Below Persona 4 Arena and Persona 4 Dancing. Interesting, but again, his opinion, that's cool. There's something that I want to point out. I'm looking at Persona 5 Royal up there with Vanilla right next to it in the same tier. This makes sense to me, or putting Vanilla in A tier makes sense to me, but I have a lot of tier lists of people just putting Vanilla like 3 or 4 rows below the Royal version, and I gotta ask you guys who have such a placement, why? Like, Royal added content, the third semester is great, of course, Dr. Maruki, right, the new characters, they're great, new music, all that stuff, but is it really an S tier if your Vanilla is C tier? Because I feel like the original Persona 5 is a fantastic game as well, and I can absolutely understand two columns behind like Ozzy did, or rows beneath. That would be fine if you put it like in A, but if you put it in B and C, I really have to ask myself, why? Is Royal really that much better? Again, just my own opinion. We have another one here from Neo Nero with Persona 3 Portable being its favorite game, FES also in S tier, Nocturne, Catherine, P4G, standard picks, SMT If in A tier, which is really interesting, Raido 1 in A tier, which is also interesting, Persona 3 Dancing in B. It's in B, it's in B, but definitely the most unique placement on the list would be Catherine Full Body in C tier. That's interesting. Seeing as you put Catherine the original in S, why is Full Body in C? That's kind of what I meant with Persona 5 and Royal and the difference in placements for a lot of lists. This feels strange to me. If you are watching this video, Neo, feel free to share with us the reasoning behind the placement here. And SMT5 in E tier, which is extremely low. I'm gonna be honest, I really don't feel that SMT5 is a bad game, even if you have your complaints, like you think it's lacking in terms of story, character development. I'm gonna give you guys all those complaints. It is fine, and you have the rights to have those complaints. But is the game really an E-tier game? I don't know. We would have to chat a little to understand that, but honestly, seeing it under games like Jack Bros is like, come on. I feel like this is a person that was extremely disappointed with SMT5 for some reason. Probably a lot of hype built up, didn't live up to the expectations, which is, again, his or her opinion, so it's perfectly fine. Alright, let's do a few more here real quick. We have another one from Vincent Eternal 8. SS tier with Eternal Punishment, Persona 5 Royal, SMT4, Devil Survivor, and Strange Journey. Honestly, I would give you all of those. I don't really agree on Strange Journey myself, but all the other ones would probably be up there in my list as well. S tier, Devil Survivor 2 is interesting. Vanilla P4 before P4G is interesting too. Innocent Sin in C tier. That one is interesting to me as well, seeing that Eternal Punishment is in SS tier. Very, very interesting stuff there. SMT1 in D tier 2. Did he play SMT2? I don't think he did. He did not. Interesting list there for sure. We have another one here from Alex Proudfoot. Nocturne in S tier. Persona 1 in S tier. That one is interesting. Yeah, Persona 1 in S tier is extremely interesting, actually. SMT4, A tier, that's cool. P4G Catherine, Persona 5 Strikers. Strikers over Royal and Vanilla P5 is also very, very interesting. But I guess differences in combat system, right? Probably prefers action-based combat system versus turn-based, or maybe just prefer the game in general. SMT5 in D tier is also pretty interesting. All the Persona spin-offs, they tend to be a little low from what I've noticed, except Strikers, which is a little higher for a lot of people. But the arena games, well, Persona 4 Arena and Ultimax, and also the dancing games, they tend to be a little lower for sure. But interestingly, it's now Persona, the original in S tier, has to be one of the most unique things we've seen today, because that one is more unanimous than I thought it was. Like, a lot of people don't really like it. I think we didn't see many in that video specifically, but I have a lot of people placing it in like B or A, mostly B, or some people will even say C, D, but S tier seems really, really, really rare, for sure. But that's all. That is gonna be it for this video, y'all. Thank you all so much for watching and participating. I had a lot of tier lists, and I know I didn't go over all of them. I didn't want this video to be 10 hours long, but I still appreciate every one of you who took some of their time to submit a tier list for me to react to. That was very interesting, and again, I am planning on doing more of these videos in the future, so if you liked it, drop a thumbs up and let me know that you enjoyed it. If you have suggestions for similar types of video, feel free to drop a comment as well and let me know. And of course, if you want to stay up to date on anything in terms of Atlus, SMT, Persona, and more, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.